For 3,000 years, a grain smaller than a poppy seed has kept Ethiopia strong, feeding Olympic champions and 60 million people. But when Western superfood fever hit, what should have been a windfall turned into disaster. A foreign company patented Ethiopia's daily bread, and the country earned just 4,000 euros, while outsiders claimed the profits. How did the world's rarest staple become a stolen commodity? And what happened when Ethiopia fought back? Teff is smaller than a poppy seed, yet it shapes the lives of millions. In Ethiopia, this ancient grain covers nearly a third of all cereal cropland and anchors the diet of 60 million people. For rural families, teff is not just a crop, it is the main source of daily calories and almost 2/3 of their protein. Its nutritional power runs deep. Teff grain contains about 30% more iron than wheat, is naturally gluten-free, and holds all the amino acids needed for a complete protein. In the highlands, generations have relied on teff to make injera, the spongy flatbread that sits at the heart of every meal. Olympic runners like Haile Gebrselassie have called teff their hidden secret, crediting it with the stamina that made them champions. But outside Ethiopia, teff was almost unknown until the world's appetite for superfoods exploded. Health stores in Europe and North America began to tout teff as the next quinoa. By 2014, Western sales of teff-based products had jumped 58% in just a year, driven by promises of high iron, high protein, and gluten-free baking. Ethiopian officials watched with growing unease. They remembered what happened in Peru and Bolivia, when the quinoa craze tripled prices and forced local families to switch to cheaper grains. Now, global demand threatened to do the same to teff, the grain Ethiopians called their lifeline. The country faced a stark choice: open the gates to profit, or risk losing the one staple they could never replace. In 2003, Ethiopian scientists and government officials gathered in Addis Ababa to celebrate a new partnership. The Dutch company Health and Performance Food International, run by Jans Roosjen and Hans Turkenstein, had struck a deal with Ethiopia's National Biodiversity Institute. The promise was clear. Ethiopia would share its prized teff varieties, up to 20 in all, and in return, profits from any European sales would be split 50% each. Haile Gebrselassie, the country's running icon, lent his support, standing alongside the Dutch businessmen as a symbol of trust and hope. But beneath the public handshake, a different story was unfolding. That same year, Roosjen quietly filed patent applications in the Netherlands, claiming exclusive rights to teff processing methods long practiced by Ethiopian farmers. The European Patent Office later granted these claims in 2007, effectively giving Roosjen's company a monopoly over teff flour in several countries. International watchdogs took notice. In 2004, the partnership was singled out for the Captain Hook Award, a global condemnation of biopiracy, stealing indigenous knowledge and profiting from it. The financial reality was even starker. Over 6 years, Ethiopia received just 4,000 euros from the deal. Meanwhile, after Roosjen transferred the patents to a new company, the assets were bought back for 60,000 euros, locking Ethiopia out of the market it had created. What began as a promise of shared prosperity turned into a cautionary tale of trust betrayed and a nation's staple grain slipping into foreign hands. On January 6, 2006, Ethiopia's government took drastic action. A sweeping export ban locked teff grain and flour inside the country's borders. The decision was made in the shadow of rising global demand and the memory of what happened to quinoa in South America, when prices soared and local families could no longer afford their own food. For Ethiopia, teff was not a luxury crop. It covered 30% of all cereal cropland and supported 6.5 million farmers, most of them smallholders. Officials feared that opening the gates to export would trigger a price shock, making injera, the daily bread, unreachable for millions. The ban lasted 9 years. Only processed teff products, like injera for the diaspora, were allowed out. For rural growers, the policy was a double-edged sword. It guarded the staple from vanishing into foreign markets, but it also cut off any hope of earning more from the superfood boom. The country's lifeline was now under lock and key, with food security taking clear priority over trade. By 2015, years of investment in new farming techniques and machinery had pushed teff yields up by nearly half. The government, seeing a chance to balance food security with global demand, authorized just 48 commercial farms to produce teff exclusively for export. These farms were kept apart from the country's main food supply, their harvests tracked and labeled to guarantee every shipment was Ethiopian. Raw grain exports remained off limits. For the first time in nearly a decade, Ethiopia could test the waters of the international market on its own terms. Then, in a quiet courtroom in The Hague, the legal tide turned. In November 2018, Dutch judges ruled that the patents which had blocked Ethiopian teff from European shelves lacked inventiveness. The methods, the judges said, were already common knowledge. When the appeal deadline passed in February 2019, the verdict stood. The patents were void. For Ethiopia, it was a rare victory, one that helped open the door for teff to reclaim its place in the world. By 2021, national production reached 5.6 million tons. Analysts agree the years of export bans and legal barriers cost Ethiopia tens of millions in lost revenue, even as the world's appetite for teff continued to grow. Global demand still outpaces teff supply, and patent battles aren't just history, they're headlines. Food sovereignty isn't a slogan. For millions, it is survival. Whose grain is it when the world comes calling? If you're ready to reclaim what your ancestors knew, make sure you subscribe for more. We're just getting started.